Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in. We're going to talk about the Income Tax Act. The Income Tax Act, what is it? Well, basically, in wartime. In wartime, we were, we were at war and all that stuff, and the propaganda and all that stuff was fooling everybody and stuff like that. And they didn't know that it was like a banker's war and stuff like that. They thought it was a real, conflict and stuff like that because the papers would say so anyways. But anyways, the long story short, there was a national draft, and all the men were drafted into the army and stuff like that. And there was an income tax that came in long time ago. I'm not sure of the year, but you can Google that if you want. Income tax. Point of the story is, to this day, we have income tax, but it's not the war. Why do we still have income tax now? So before we go a bit more into that, let's just go through let's go through the taxes that we actually have. So we have taxes on goods and services, the GST, the goods and services tax. We have the travel tax, which we actually have to pay for our own car to drive on the land. So we have to drive on the land. There's a road there. It's our road. It's our land. We are native of this land. We have to pay the government tax, surcharges, and fees to be able to drive on the land. We have to pay taxes, surcharges, and fees for our own house. Let's say we buy a piece of land. You have to pay a deed transfer tax too. You buy a piece of land. You build a house. Okay, you make it. You buy the supplies at the Home Depot or whatever home hardware you want to call it. Kent. So you make your house, you build your house, you build it yourself with your own two hands and stuff like that, and the government comes around and says, oh, nice, it's worth $180,000, we're actually going to tax you now. So, well, no, I just built this house, it's alright, man, like, you don't need to, I don't really want you to, no, we insist. So we insist on taxing you, so you have to pay $1,200 a year to the government for your own house that you built on your own piece of land. Alright, so let's stand up and say no. Let's actually fight against that. They come around with guns, and they actually steal the house that you built. Everybody's complacent, everybody agrees, nobody says anything, and it just keeps on going like that. So, let's keep going here. So, there's like all these other taxes and all this stuff. So, the courts insist that's you got a cop pulling you over, stuff like that. Cop pulls you over, issues financial sanctions. You got speeding ticket, no busted headlights or something. You just busted your headlight, and then it gives you a ticket for it. Every time you see the light flash in, excuse me. Every time you see the cop lights flash in, it's at least $1,700 it cost me. I don't know how much it cost you, but it cost me a lot of money. Every time I see the cops, it costs me a fortune. I mean, I don't want to be dealing with the police. Like, they are only, and when something actually goes on, when there's a fire or something like that, an arson, it's obviously an arson, obviously a theft, obviously a break-in or something like that, cops are nowhere to be seen. They actually are too busy arresting people to make money. So policing for profit is what's going on. So, and all this stuff, and let's talk about the fishery industry. So you gotta pay like millions of dollars for all these licenses to the government to be able to fish in our own waters. My uncle's actually part of that mentality. He believes that you have to pay millions and millions of dollars to the government and stuff like that to be able to fish in our own waters for lobster and whatever else. I'm not saying lobster is the most healthiest food, but I mean, how much money does the government actually make? So the income tax is a fraud. The Income Tax Act is the most terrible fraud, so you actually get punished for working a day's work. So imagine me hiring somebody in my own private capacity, a guy to do forestry. We're going to do some firewood, we're going to do some whatever else. Firewood, forestry, right? So I hire a guy, he's sweating there, let's go to lunch and we eat a sandwich or something like that. We work the rest of the afternoon sweating and all this stuff, running chainsaw. What's the government going to do with this? So he's gonna have to pay a certain percentage of his hard-earned wages to the government. Wait a minute, he doesn't even work for the government. Where's the evidence of applicability? Where's the proof of jurisdiction? That's where there's none. So they have a claim. If you're within our territorial borders, you need to pay us taxes, surcharges, and fees for your travel, for your right to work, your commerce, and all this stuff. You have to pay us for basically everything. So where's the evidence that this claim is actually correct? Like, where is the evidence? I know, because read the rules of evidence, you'll see what evidence is. So where is it? Where is the actual evidence? Well, there's none. There's actually no evidence, and just basically these people have guns, and they are forcing us to pay them with no evidence of jurisdiction at all. Courts are completely biased. Courts are completely biased. So if you make a claim, let's say you make a claim, I make a claim right now, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It's an absurd claim, and, you know, since I don't have any evidence of my claim being true, good thing the court is biased. It's a good thing, because if the court wasn't biased, then it would show how faulty my argument is, but the court is biased, and they're just going to negate that important burden of proof, and they're just going to go through with it, and we're just going to have to go through with the procession, and then have to deal with the consequences that enter into our lives. So this is actually a very, very serious thing. Very, very serious. Don't underestimate the seriousness of what I am saying. It's very, very serious. The courts are biased, and now the Income Tax Act is punishing us to go to work. So we have to be punished to actually go to work. And we have to work, pay our taxes and stuff like that, turn around, get a car. Cars. Yeah, you gotta buy a car. Let's say I sell my car to a guy. He's gotta go and register it. So look, the meaning of register it. What does registering something mean? It means giving it over to the drag queen. Queen Elizabeth is a man. It's a transgender. Princess Charlene, Prince Charles, is not a man at all. It's a woman. It's not a king. It's not going to be a king. It's going to be a sissy king. That's what it's going to be. Justin Trudeau is a woman. It's a young witch. So you gotta, okay, so I gotta register my car, and then I gotta give that, you know, over to the drag queen. And I gotta pay a tax. I gotta pay a $400 tax just because I bought a car. And then next week, this guy sells me another car, but he just paid the taxes last week, but he sells it to me again. There's two taxes, $400 last week, $400 this week, and then if I sell it to another guy, the government wants their $400 now, too. These taxes are not owed to the government. There's no money nothing's making sense here. This is just a pro rata with think of it like a rat sliding down a snake with a bag of coins. It's a rat sliding down a snake with a bag of coins. That's basically what's going on. They're just stealing our money. They're just stealing everything. We're just slaves to them or something like that. So we need to stand up and say, no, we politely refuse your government services. We politely refuse. Talked a lot about autism and a vaccine and stuff like that. A lot of backlash from that video. All of a sudden there's like 600 views in like 20 minutes or something like that from a Facebook post. So whatever. If you guys don't like the truth, if you guys don't like, I make videos. John Michael's Adventures. You got lovers and haters and best friends too. Babies, mamas, the pink and the blue. Remember that song? John Michael's Adventures. If you don't like my videos, please unsubscribe. Click thumbs down. You know, maybe if you want to be a hater, like there are a lot of people haters. They post a Facebook post and they say, "Oh, John Michael's Adventures is so stupid. John Michael's Adventures never tells the truth. We're not gonna look into what he's saying, but he's so stupid because we're basically brainwashed and we don't understand the truth. We don't understand the truth. That's actually what's going on. So you keep on going to your work and you keep on." You know, if you're a government agent, if you're a government agent, please unsubscribe from my channel, please. I don't want you around. I don't like you. Government agents are contributing to the problem. Even the unsuspecting laity is contributing to the problem, but these people are just victims. If you're a government agent, you're a special kind of evil. So don't watch my videos if you're a government agent. Thanks for tuning in. John Michael's Adventures reminding you that the Income Tax Act is a fraud. Don't pay any taxes for your day's work. Like that goes without saying, but some way or another, you have to actually remind people that don't pay taxes to a tyrannical, tranny government for your day's work. That would be stupid. You're not stupid, are you? You're drinking distilled water, getting all those toxins out of your brain. Maybe you should start. Thanks a lot for tuning in. See you guys next time.